Is it travel as far as planes?
Yeah. So yeah, loving it.
There's so many.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
You know what we did? We went out to those window units that you can push up now.
Oh, right.
Believe it or not, the electric bill came down because of those. So the actual AC units, I think they suck more energy out. So yeah,
All right, two questions.
no, actually, the ones. Oh yeah.
Location of the gift boxes.
We just had someone come in here with the guest room. It's like
I thought that there was other things that the fire department would have
yeah,
that on council.
we don't have that in the other house because we just have the rolling ones. And then we have the units that we use. We use it, but I try to very sparingly to use
going
it. So yeah,
propane tank?
our typical bills in the summer.
Okay, because I thought memory just going by memory.
So there's something to be said about that. Yeah.
Electrical problems, I think he knows that was a rule change. That
Well, it makes a difference.
fire department has to be
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. It's portable.
Okay.
Right, exactly.
If we can answer the question for at least if we don't get going on Monday, we
You don't have an answer today?
Yeah, we know that. And let's just see them.
Their mother and daughter.
There you go.
Really? Tornadoes, hail, lightning. I've never seen one friend that had a place in Galveston. We go to Galveston quite often. And you can see out.
What type of relationship they don't
Yeah.
They're very reluctant.
I want to ask you, ever involved in any of those in the up in Chicago?
Just small stuff. Just small stuff.
Missile range ran twice. And so I hired 20 months down to my one. Well, they had a major myself down intern at the University of Florida. So the jaws and
That's exactly right.
No, it was a booster station for the transmission.
Hey, did everybody sign in?
Oh, okay.
Sign in to speak? Let's, I got a member sign in and a member speak. Speak? Sign in. Sign in. That's what it is. 6 years.
Crows.
I'm gonna wait for a couple of minutes. There's some last stragglers coming in.
I got one. I don't know if we're working on it.
No. No. He's probably gonna wait till after we get back.
Okay. Let's get started. Unfortunately, Renee's not here, so I'll be taking notes. But I also have a very cool piece of technology. It's called Plod, and we use it at work. And what it does is it will record the session, and at the end of it, punch out the transcript in any form you want to. First time using it, so I'm going to be doing both. But it's pretty cool, and we use these around our offices, not only for phone calls. You can record somebody's phone call on it and transcribe it, but you can also transcribe a meeting. And it'll record it, you'll have the digital copy, and then you can produce a Word document very quickly, and that'll, you can transcribe it into a Word and then edit if you want to. So I'm going to ask you to kind of speak loudly because the device is sitting here, it'll be sitting next to my phone. And I'm trying it out for the first time, so I'm not relying on this 100%. I will be taking notes about the meeting, but just let everybody know, and you will be kind of recorded. Or not kind of, you will be recorded. So, we'll get started here. Okay, I'll call this the Windermere Oaks Water Supply Corporation Board meeting to order, June 1st. At 10:05 this morning. I'm a little off on that number because my phone's sitting over there, but we'll go with that. I want to do a roll call with the seating board members as they seat today. I'll start with Brian Garceau. He is here, and my name is Jeff Walker. So we'll start with those two. Item number 3, and we're going to try to move quickly through the agenda today because it's a beautiful Saturday out here. I know a lot of people want to get home. Item number 3 is deliberation and possible discussion to fill any board vacancy. Again, another line item is made the agenda for the last 2 or 3 times. Does anybody want to join the party up here?
I will.
Scott Miller raises his hand to join the board. Yay. Thank you very much. I will make a motion, Brian, to accept I don't know if you have any, or go to discussion if you want to discuss anything about Mr. Miller or not.
Well, after the second, you get to discuss it. There's really nothing to discuss. That's good.
Yeah, okay. I make a motion that we allow Mr. Scott Miller to join our board immediately.
Second.
All in favor? Say aye. Aye. Scott, welcome. Welcome to the party. Thank God. Oh, it changed your mind. We'll talk about that one later. Okay, good. Did everybody sign in? There's 2 sheets here. Sign in as a member and sign in as somebody to speak. So that's on the back page. So we'll give it a couple of minutes just to let everybody sign in. Front page is sign in, second page is as such. Did you got an agenda?
Yeah.
You got one, I got one. Anybody need an agenda? We got an extra one here. Here, Bill. So. Anybody else? Oh, right behind you.
Oh, if I print them out. I read them.
Anybody else? Alan, you want to speak? No, you're good? Okay. Can you sign in? Okay. All right. Okay, everybody good? Everybody on the sign-up sheet? Okay. Item number 4, public comments for tonight. So you'll have a 3-minute time window. If we could just kind of hold to that, that'd be great. Do a stopwatch. Or anything, do you mind? Close. Yeah. Thank you, Ryan. Let's start with Earl Miller. Go for it. 3 minutes.
I just wanted to address that the property for sale over there in the airport. I just don't want to mess around and lose this offer, you know, by taking too much time or putting it on the market and they back out. They could, you know, we could put it on the market and then if we didn't get a better offer, they could say, well, nobody wants this property. We go with all the right-of-ways and stuff, so we're going to offer you less. So I guess I just have a concern of taking too much time and messing around.
No, very good points. Anything else? Okay. Just taking some notes here. Okay. Patty Fuller. Flunker, sorry. Couldn't read it.
I think Michelle is going to give me her minutes too.
Who is? Michelle? Okay. Go.
Hang on just a second. First, I just want to say I'd like to speak, and while you may have some comments when I'm speaking, please keep them to yourself until I'm done. I think the law states it's uninterrupted. So, with that being said, let me begin. Good morning, everyone. Let's talk about the 400-pound elephant in the room that we all know about. I can appreciate your position and other people's position, but if you don't know your past, you're doomed to repeat it. And we all know that saying. Our board is currently attempting to sell our property under market value in an inside deal without putting it on the market to let the price be driven by competition. Seriously, would any of you all sell your home that way? Have someone just drive by and make an offer without knowing what the appraised value is? I'm sure you wouldn't. Failing to ensure a thorough title search, which they say they probably did, not using a real estate agent, and just selling to the first Tom, Dick, or Harry who shows up, shows interest, is unacceptable. What if we could get $2 million? What if we could get $3 million? Dana Martin sold her property shy of 3 acres for $1 million. The board thinks they can push through this land deal despite blatant violations of the Texas Open Meeting Act. Here is the reality check. This is a novel idea. Put it on the market, use a real estate agent, and get the highest bidder. Also, I'm very interested in knowing what CoBank has to say, as we have used this land as collateral for the $700 loans and line of credit we use. In their documents, they must be notified prior to any sale of this asset and collateral. I would like to know, you do not need to answer now, whether you've had those conversations with CoBank. And while we're on the topic, their rush to sell this property without board votes on appraisals, recent ones, shows a blatant disregard for understanding the history out here. Some of y'all don't know this, some of y'all may know it. Charles Winston, the developer, back in 1975, created a perpetual easement on his properties, and it's buried in deeds, granting himself, his successors, and assignees taxiway easement with no defined widths applicable to our 6 acres to reach the taxiway and the runway. But it's in the title search that was given to me, but you have to dig and put in more information and more information to find this document. This easement allows for at least a plane with a wingspan of 60 feet, if not more, to pass across this land to get to the runway. It's clear that this group has an agenda, otherwise they would be looking out for you, the community, the ratepayers. Instead, they seem to be taking advice from people that are unaware, or possibly the same person that sold her property to the very guys that are trying to buy ours. Supposedly because there's no easement. So it's devalued the property. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. By the way, the agenda for this meeting is riddled with TOMA violations. Offer consideration of sale of property within the airport is too vague. It's a violation of 551041 of the Texas Business Organization Code. The agenda must provide specific details about the subjects to be discussed to inform the public, not just you, the public, adequately. Executive session does not specify the topics of the legal basis for the session. Violation of TOMA section 551071 through 87. The agenda must cite the legal authority and brief description, subject matter for the executive session. New business. There's nothing under new business. Does not list specific items to be discussed. Violation of 551041. The agenda must list specific items under new business to inform the public. This is in black and white. So the plan is to approve this violation today, in violation of TOMA. No shocker that Renee's not here. Without properly noticing these agenda items and the public, per TOMA. So get ready for the legal battles that will surely ensue. The hypocrisy is astounding here, especially considering Renee French probably did this agenda, and everybody knows he was the one that went after Miss Martin and her board for the very same violations. So, you just can't make this stuff up. And by the way, appointing a director, which this is, I guess, null and void since you guys now have 3, but I suggest, as we did before, create a real estate committee. I was on it, and so was Michelle. We get some of you guys on this real estate committee, and we do the work and present it to the board. We find the easements that I spoke of, and we get the most money. If I remember correctly, Mr. Walker, when you got on the board, you said the people elected me, and you guys get to vote on stuff. You're the members and you will vote. What happened to that? Did that go out the window?
Anybody want to give Patty additional time? Okay, Bill.
With that
Thank you.
being said, Mr. Walker had informed on social media that they have been talking about this real estate transaction for the last 3 board meetings. I didn't attend all of them, but I looked at the agenda. Once again, there is nothing on these agendas about discussing the 6 acres in the airport. Nothing, no votes, no nothing. I think the last meeting he said it was under new business so they could talk about it. Once again, the Texas Open Meetings Act mandates you have to specify what you are talking about. Nothing on it, nothing on it. So this is the first time we've seen it on an agenda to discuss this. And finally, I guess that's really it. I'm just blown away. And you know, Earl, to your point, I appreciate it. You guys want to get the money. But please consider IRS gonna hit us 22% tax on this money, $800 left. They want to pay attorneys supposedly $500. Guess what's left? $300 if we're lucky. $300. They owe us roughly $800,000 to pay us back. I don't know, here's a novel idea. Get the highest bid, pay us off, upgrade the infrastructure, and put the attorneys on a payment plan like they have been on for the last 5 years. When they get their money, they get their money. That's it. Period, end of story. You never know what you're gonna get until you put it out there and see what bids. We haven't even done that. That's all I got. Thank you for your time. Oh, yeah, one more thing. As much as I don't care for Joe Jimenez, I can't imagine Joe Jimenez would be doing this if he was on the board. He knows that those agendas have to be specific. And he knows from going through everything, he's got to get bids. So I'm just flabbergasted at where we're at. Have we not learned anything? Thank you.
Ken?
If it was Jesus Christ at the Last Supper, it wouldn't make any difference to a lot of folks if they were sitting up there. I missed the last meeting. I was out of town. I had the most important thing in my life to do, and that was visit my grandchildren. So I don't know what the offer is, who's offering it, but I saw that land yesterday. Why does the water company need 6 landlocked or not landlocked acres of land at an airport? There's no reason. We have our plant, we have our spray field, we have our treatment plant. That's what the water company's about. It's not about. I don't wake up in the morning worrying about what Dana Martin did or what Dana Martin had for breakfast. Since Chris and I moved to this community almost 5 years ago, she's been nice. She's been nice to us. She's a shrewd businesswoman. I give her all the kudos for that. The other day, I put something next door. I needed a guy, okay? And I'm on there as Ken E. period. Within 5 minutes, she was texting me with the number of a guy, okay? I called the guy. The next day, his brother came over. He did what I had to do, and then I asked him can you cut down a couple trees for me? Him and the young buck he was with that cut the trees down in an hour and hauled them up. So I don't know. I was raised by a mother who spent 18 years in an orphanage. She went in there 2 weeks, came out on her 18th birthday. There was 8 of us. She taught us never hate, never hate, never hate. We're all equal, whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're handicapped. That's what our mother taught us. And just you come to these meetings. I've talked to some neighbors. Why don't you come to the meeting? And the biggest reason is because I don't want to listen to all the bullshit. I don't want to listen to the bullshit. Or now I'm hearing we're watching it on Twitch. Okay, I've heard that one. I don't know what Twitch is, but they're watching it on Twitch. But the biggest reason is this is not anybody I get a chance in this community to ask. I ask them, why don't you come to meetings? And the biggest reason is I don't want to lose into the bush. That's the biggest reason. So that's all I got to say. Everyone have a great day.
Thank you. Running the money. Thanks. Thanks, Dan. Danny, last one.
Well, I will cook, and Denmark's a cook, and the jury said so. She's never apologized for what she's done in this community. Do I hate her? No. But she'll be held accountable every time. Anyway, the last meeting, 5/18, was quite unusual to say the least. On 3/27, the board sent out a notice that they were looking for 4 directors following Renee French's resignation. And additionally, the board approved Brian Garceau as a director for that meeting. It raises several questions. Is Mr. Garceau a director? He's sitting up here. Has he submitted an application? Has he completed his TOMA training? Same goes for French. And then I have the notice here. It says there being 4 empty seats on the WSC board for March 27th. Another issue was the meeting agenda. AWR gave an extensive presentation, which was fabulous, but wasn't on the agenda. And then during the new business section, Walker invited 2 individuals to propose purchasing one of our major land assets. They came prepared with a contract and a cashier's check suggesting they believed the approval was a mere formality. Walker assured the members present that the law firm had approved the agenda. Yet, the agenda provided no details that could have alerted any member of the land deal. What's mind-boggling is that Renee French sued the water co-op over this very issue. Insider deal, no appraisal, no competitive sales process. It feels like Groundhog Day. And to me, I considered Renee French a dear friend at one time. And now my opinion has changed drastically about Renee French. The last meeting, Patty asked him questions about Dana's testimony in the trial, and he looked at the floor. It's unacceptable. Anyway, I did have an excerpt from the Texas Municipal League, Texas Meetings Act Made Easy. I was going to send this in an email, and I thought I'd read it here. It says, how specific does the subject on the posted notice need to be? The subject on the posted notice needs to be sufficient to alert the public. New business. Quite frankly, this notice today isn't specific enough because there's other property in the airport. Last but not least, for anyone that missed the last meeting, Mr. Walker made it a point of telling the members that my 4 public information requests have cost the water co-op a whopping $13 grand. 4 requests. And we complained about paying Jimenez $416. This is an outrageous claim intended to publicly shame me, similar to the way Jimenez had treated me for the many years in my quest for information. Much like Jimenez, when I informed Walker that I planned to meet with someone in the AG's office, he shouted, good. Sound familiar? Jimenez sitting up there going, sue us. It's the same thing. And I did meet with him, and it went fantastic. Such behavior is incredibly irresponsible on the part of both Walker and the new law firm. And then, I don't expect Scott to know this, or Brian for that matter, because he wasn't here. There was an appraisal done in 2018, in December 2018, that valued that land at $760,000. That was 2018, and that was retroactive from 2016. Renee French's lawsuit was successful. The first one was successful on summary judgment, which I happen to be a part of. You need to get it appraised, put it out on the major barnstormers, the trade planes. There's a whole bunch of, you know about them, Jeff, like they should have done the first time, and sell it to the highest bidder. Because I suspect that land's worth at least $2 million now.
No.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I wanted to address some of those things. I think they were excellent points, by the way. I especially like the one about the notes not being sufficient, because I also recognize that in my reading of TOMA in preparation for this position. And I did take the course. There's not a whole lot to it. You watch a video for an hour or so, and then you agree that you watch the video for an hour or so. So that's the course. That's the training. But I would like you to know that I have done a lot of study in the time that I've been here. I'm definitely not an expert, but these are volunteer positions. And so we all bring what we have, our knowledge, experience, and skills, and we try to apply it as best we can to the problems of this community, right, Ms. Board? Couple other things. As far as how I got on the board, Danny's correct. I sat in one meeting. I agreed for the purposes of what was happening in that meeting to be a pro tem member of the board. And at the end of that, I didn't submit a formal resignation. I think I was supposed to. I didn't, and then over time, I started to think through what's happening. And Jeff gave me a question, gave us all the question, what are you afraid of? And I have to say, I want to tell you that when I was in high school, I gave my life to Jesus Christ. And from then on out, it just changed the vector of my life. I met my beautiful wife here. Every decision I make, I go before the throne of grace, if it's of any import, okay? And so I'm not afraid. There have been several things in my life that a normal person would be afraid. I am not afraid. My life is not my own. It was bought with a price, and I'm not going to get preachy on you ever again, but I just want to know that, want you to know that my decisions are not made out of spite or any vainglory or anything for me. I just want to see this community repaired. We have to start over with this, with what we have right now, which is more than they had when they started. And there is a way forward, and that's why I signed up. That's all. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to item number 5, the approval of May 18th board minutes, which I have had here. These minutes, along with our agendas, are all reviewed by our legal team prior to publication. As a matter of fact, it's in their engagement agreement. So everything you see in the agenda and from the minutes that we submitted have been reviewed by our lawyer prior to us doing anything in the corporation. So that's just a side note. I would like to make a motion that we approve the minutes from the May 18th meeting as they are set here. Okay, or any discussion?
I like them, I approve.
Okay. So you second it?
I read them, I approve.
Okay. Motion to approve?
Second.
Okay. Approved. Anybody would like a copy of them? I do have.
Got a vote.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. The vote? Aye. I accept.
I accept.
Okay. All three. We'll accept the minutes for the May 18th. Anybody want a copy of them? Yeah, there are copies up here if you'd like to grab a set. There's one that lost the staple. So I got 3 copies if you need to. I will have it published on the website. So after it was approved. Thank God we're finally starting to get some of these minutes onto the website. It's been a long, tedious process. Okay, on to item number for deliberation and discussions concerning the offer. Keep in mind, it's just an offer. Okay? How did we get here? Well, at the last meeting, I want to start off on, everybody talked about receivership. Let's put the corporation in receivership and such. I went back to our legal team and asked them and the PUC to publish something that I can give to the owners about receivership. The good, the bad, and the ugly. If you would like to look at their comments and their notes, it's right here. It's not good. Now, I have a double duty up here. I am not only a board member, but I'm a member of the corporation. So I am in a really perplexed situation because I don't want to see us go into receivership both as a member and a board member. I'm sorry, it's bad. Read it. This is from a legal lawyer opinion. You heard another lawyer who's within the community at the last meeting to say he's been involved in banking receiverships and insurance receiverships. It's all bad. Take a look for yourself. It would not be good for the corporation. You talk about losing your land deal, that'll be the first thing that'll happen. As a matter of fact, they have the right within 60 days to raise your rates. Now, why would they do that? Here's why. Take a look at our balance sheet. You know, last month, I ran $39,000, 40K, in the hole. Our rates were cut. Alan, you can sit back there. Our rates were cut 2/3, people. Our rates were cut 2/3. Our budget didn't go down 2/3. My expenditures with running the plant didn't go down 2/3. My operations around here didn't go down 2/3. That's what we've been given. We run 40 grand, the numbers don't lie. Here's what it is. We're trying to cut expenses as best as we can. That's why we ask about legal expenses. Give us some time, give us some runway to clean this balance sheet up. 40,000. That's going to be each month. And guess what I got in the bank, people? $236,000. How many months does that give us before we're out of money? 5 months. So, what do we do as a board sitting up here? I've been thinking about this problem since January. Since I brought the real estate that's in question, that's behind my hangar, and put it out there for a pre-title search back in January. If the PUC had authorized or approved the rate appeal case, our rates are cut 2/3. That's your revenue, people. It's not rocket science. Your revenue gets cut 2/3, while your expenses don't. You're going to be running the hole. That's why I said, let's start looking at real estate. As a matter of fact, there were some members that are in this audience today say, well, you better go sell some real estate. I didn't put it on the market. It came to us, a gentleman standing right here who's no longer with us, Wes Perkins, on a public comment to say that he had somebody that he's working with. It was in a public forum that he came to us on it. And then, I didn't hear anything about it. Wes was doing it all. At the same time, I reached out to a realtor. Here's the guy. You can call him up. He didn't want to touch it. He looked at it and said, oh my God, there's so many problems with that land. He goes, I'm not going to get involved with it. I talked to two realtors.
Let's hear, what are the problems?
Okay,
let's hear.
Hang on a second. I reached out to two of them. One of them, he called me, we talked about it initially. He sent all the title search information, never heard back from him. He said one of the problems was the easements. One of the problems is the TCQ. They didn't want to get involved.
I thought your buddy said it's a no big deal TCQ.
It's a no big deal because he'll take it as is, Patty.
Okay.
They can take it as is. We don't need to hang on a second.
What are the TCQ? What are the issues with TCQ?
I have them being reviewed by the attorneys right now. Keep in mind, I did not get this offer until last Sunday. It did not come to me till last Sunday, despite what Danny Flunker said. It was not handed to me until last Sunday. I have a videotape of that. Last Sunday. Well, that's why this meeting got put together at the last minute, was to share this offer with you.
So we're going to sell property with TCQ violations on it, as you're saying?
Yes, he is willing to accept it that way. That's the terms of the contract. He can do that. You can walk in and buy a house, Patty, and say, I'll accept the damages. If you got mold in your house, I'll accept the damages. I'll accept that.
So we're doing a fire sale?
No, we're not. He'll do the remediation. It's not a fire sale. So to go back to this, there's that. Now, another comment came up, and I've had discussions with the board here, with several of the board members. Proceeds from the land sale. Now, keep in mind, this is a 60-day contract. They have 60 days to do that's not a contingency. They're going to do their research, they're going to do anything. As a matter of fact, they've given us the right to list it again. Find another buyer, find a backup buyer. We can do that. It's not restricted from it. We can.
This sounds so ridiculous.
No, it doesn't sound ridiculous. It's the facts. I'm just telling you.
I'm going to get an offer on my home and say, hey.
Yeah, you can do that.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, okay. So here was my idea that I talked with some of these people about on the proceeds from the land sale. Let's say we get $1 million. You think I'd go out there and spend it on legal fees? I was the one who tried to promote putting our legal people on a contract on a $10,000 a month. By the way, I ran into Jose De La Fuentes at the soccer game Wednesday night, and they're coming for their money. Just want to let you know what he told me. That's a soccer game. Wow. But what I would do with the money, and my suggestion would be, I take that $1 million bucks. I would put that $1 million in a CD account for 6 months. By the way, you get 5% interest on that. That's $50,000. What do we do in the meantime? We figure out what we want to do as a corporation with our funds. Not me. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a sinking fund, or yeah, something like that.
You've got to remember, you've got to operate as a 501c12, and we're being investigated by the IRS right now. You're not supposed to be trying to invest your money and put it here. Your money is supposed to be paying down bills. That's why we are tax exempt.
I get that, Patty, and that's within the same calendar year. I've talked to the attorneys about this. It's a 6 month CD. These are just my ideas. I'm not doing it. These are ideas. What does it generate for us? In 6 months, we can figure out what we want to pay. We don't just run out, because that's what happened, Patty, with our insurance check that we got. Notice the previous board went out there without even board approval, without you guys even knowing from a membership standpoint. I didn't even know that I was even on the board, and they spent most of the $638,000 we got from our insurance check. My idea would be to, let's come up with some ideas. I'm just coming up with an idea. Throw it in a money market account. I get 50 grand after 6 months.
How about pay all the ratepayers back and
We
be done with
could
it?
do that too, but what I'm saying is let's figure it out. What's the priority? Because what I also got today, or yesterday, this came from AWR. I got a big problem at the water plant. We need to invest about $16,000 to fix some of the things that are going on with it. This came from Hal Landon, the president. He wrote this to me, so we don't know where the priorities.
You give us our money back from the sale, and guess what? Then you're not refunding us money, so you're bringing in $20,000 a month now.
That's a great idea.
There you go.
That's a great idea. Well, first off, we got to sell the property. We got to get the check. We got to cash the check, and we can put it in wherever we want to. Whether we put it in a bank account, that's 6 months.
Maybe the members should vote on this.
Okay, the 6 months, it's just an idea. It gives you time to figure out what you're going to do with the money. That's all it does. And you make money on it.
What happened to AWR was supposed to do an analysis on our infrastructure. You said you've got one thing there in the plant. What about the rest of it?
Because it's a $30,000 expenditure on the operational audit. Where do we have $30,000? I'm about ready. I'm on a runway to $70,000.
What's $30,000?
It's a $30,000 operational audit fee. They don't do them for free.
Well, I know they don't do them for free.
They never indicated that they were going to do it for free.
Well, the statement that I got from AWR was that that person that we had originally asked to do that backed off and took another project.
Yep, correct. And they have another engineer that's putting together a proposal to do an operational audit. This will give us a 1, 3, and 5 year plan of what needs to be done. But it costs us $30,000.
But here's what I'm hearing. With all due respect, this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing you talk out both sides of your mouth. We're going to put money in a money market for 6 months. We're going to wait. We're going to do this. But we don't want to do our due diligence and sell our property and put it out there to see if we can get the most money. We at least have to give that a chance, because guess what? Everything you're talking about, that $1 million to pay with, which actually will be $800, maybe you'll have $2 million instead. And boy, what would that be like to have $2 million instead of the $1 million? I mean, at least you have to entertain that. You are not looking out for us.
I'm entertaining an offer that came in. This was a blind offer. It doesn't need to go on a real estate. You don't need a real estate agent to do.
It's on the agenda to vote on it.
It doesn't need to go to a real estate agent. That would be $70,000 you would give a real estate agent.
Well, maybe you need to check the PUC commissioner's statements on that. They had a different opinion in the rate appeal.
That's great, but they don't get involved in this. This just came in Sunday. You guys.
I don't care. Give it away. The whole thing is just a big farce. It's just a comedy of errors.
Michelle. And by the way, excuse me, before I interrupt. These were just ideas that I was just kicking around in my head and kicking around the board. What do we do? Because I didn't want, my argument from what's the past was when we got that insurance check, it just went out the door. None of us saw it. None of us, even 2 sitting board members, Renee and I. All I'm saying is throw it somewhere to make some interest on it And, you know, and by the way, the deal doesn't close if on any real estate deal for 30 to 60 days. These are just ideas that are being floated out. It's not fact. It's not going to happen until everybody comes to agreement. But what's wrong with putting a plan together? A plan. That's all these were just ideas that were floating around the board. Trying to figure out the best way to communicate, to pay off people, and to move the corporation forward. Because I have a fiduciary duty to do that. Michelle.
Question. There's obviously some confusion, concerns about easements on that property. Patty has documentation that there's a perpetual easement on that property. I also hear that there's no easement on the property and you couldn't access it with plans. And due to that issue, the property doesn't have the same value because there's not the easement access. So, hypothetical question. If that easement was there for people to get to, per the documentation that Patty has found, what would the cost of that property be instead of it being, there's no easement, therefore it's landlocked, therefore it, so that's the question I have. And I feel like that's an important question that needs to be satisfied before we sell the property. Because I do believe that would make a big difference in the price of the property.
Les Perkins had it appraised. Now you're not going to like.
Appraised based on easements or no easements?
So where's the appraisal? Where's the appraisal? Let us see it.
I can send it to you. Hang on a second. Let me finish.
Why would Wes go ahead and appraise that? He's not on the board. Why did he pay out of his pocket to have that appraised?
He didn't pay a thing.
Who paid for it?
We had it done for free.
Oh my gosh.
By a gentleman, because I'm about ready to tell you who it is, and you guys have trashed him in the past. His name is Jay Lefevre.
Oh my God! I knew it!
I knew it.
I knew it! The guy that wants to get on the board, that didn't get on the board, oh God.
Boy.
This stuff, you can't make this stuff up.
I know, you can't, Patty.
The insider trading,
God.
all the incestuous activity out here.
Why is it
you can make
incestuous?
a movie about this.
Why is Jay Lefevre incestuous? By the way, he's moving out of the neighborhood.
I know.
I was gonna say.
Because you know what? He did his thing, he got paid, he's out of here.
He didn't get paid. There was no
He just
payment.
did it out of kindness of his
He
heart.
did it out of the kindness of the heart. He did it for the water company.
Oh my
What is so
God.
wrong with that? Wow.
Can't we just hear what they have to say?
Yeah.
Quit interrupting and over yelling,
It's-
screaming,
Apparently not.
backbiting.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean,
I want to hear what
This
they have
is
to
your
say.
company, Earl.
I understand that, but I want to hear what they have to offer.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, what's wrong with taking it out?
Let's not interrupt him.
I mean, what's wrong with taking it out to a commercial real estate? Yeah. I mean, that's what he does for a living. He ran a commercial appraisal, and he's an expert witness as far as in lawsuits, you know, for evaluation of property. I mean, I thought it was a pretty good idea using them. And he did it for free. Brian.
So it seems to me that Jeff has a lot of ideas, has been thinking about this for a while. He's trying to get a consensus, an idea of the membership, how they might react to some of this stuff. I think he got some of that reaction.
Totally.
What I suggest, Jeff, is you take this back, turn it into a proposal to the membership.
Yes.
Put all the details in there that you can, that you know of, and start with that. And then maybe let the membership pick at it for a while. You know, publish it, let them pick at it for a while. Meet again, and in an orderly fashion, go through each one of the objections and counter options for each one of those objections. So if you have an objection, state your counter options as well. And then people can get a good idea of what's going on.
You're awesome, you should be the president.
Thank you, but I'm an auxiliary way over in the corner.
Can you submit these easements that you've uncovered?
I tell you what, I'll do better. Why don't you create a real estate committee? Put it back in place, because I was on it in Michelle, and we get some more people, and we work on it, and we give you the easements. I do all this work. I spend the time late at night.
Is that a yes or no?
And I'm like, no, I'm telling you, here's my offer to you. I will share it to you, create this real estate committee, and we have volunteers. and I will share it being a real estate committee member. How about that?
Well, I was told you had the easements already.
I do, but I
Can
do
you
all
just
this
submit it
work
to
and
the
you
board?
expect me to turn it over to you guys?
What's wrong with that?
I have the easements as well.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. You do? You do?
Yeah. I thought
I mean,
it
I've
was
got them in
secret.
here, right here. I presented them last week.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do, Patty, I'm sorry.
You know what? Go back to the mother deed and work yourself forward.
I do, and the mother deed has also a utility easement in there over the same line, which means you can't put a taxiway over it because it's subject to be torn up, and
That's
that's
not
one
the
of the
easement I'm
problems.
talking about.
Yes, it is. So anyways, I've got an offer here. It's $1 million. It's contingent on this meeting. That's what it is. I'm sorry. There's a real estate contract, guys. Danny, you can laugh all the time, but when somebody buys your house, they come to you and say, hey, you've got X number of days to execute it. And my execution period was actually up yesterday. So that's the dilemma. That's the dilemma. It's $1 million right here. I'm at a run rate. Keep in mind, folks, you guys can look at the receivership, because if we don't get on this real quick, hence the reason I wanted to start this in the first of the year.
Don't threaten us with that.
I'm not threatening you.
Come
Hey, you should have seen the threats at the last meeting. Come on.
on. Look.
You know, here's my numbers.
We've got assets out the yin yang. We
But-
own
well-
so much property on Exeter Road that people
Exactly,
may
but you gotta sell it. Go ahead, Marvin.
You've waived two things at us, the balance sheet and that receivership. Are they on the website?
No, I
Will you
want.
please put them on the website
I
so
plan
we
to.
can all look at
I
them?
plan to. I just got this yesterday. I just got it yesterday.
And what attorney?
Wonderful. Will you
sorry?
please put it on the website?
I plan to.
Thank you. How about the balance
Question?
sheet? How about the balance sheet?
Yes, I just got that at 4:15 this morning from Renee French, who's not here.
Okay.
4:15 a.m. That's when the email came in. That crazy bastard was working till then.
I wouldn't call him a crazy bastard.
Well, at 4:15 in the a.m. he's working on the spreadsheet. I was a little worried about
That
it.
makes him a crazy bastard?
No, I'm only in jest.
Huh?
Excuse me.
This is a friendly place. It used to be
Some
a
of
friendly
us were
place, sorry.
better.
Not
Come on,
anymore.
it was taken in jest. So, yes, this will be published on the website. I just got this yesterday. And this came in this morning, which will be published, along with the minutes that were approved today from the May 18th meeting. And you can all see it. I brought copies of it.
Can you also put those easement information that you have on the website?
Sure. I've had those easement documents from the pre-title search since January.
And, another question. Now, so how are we just now, was this the first time you presented them?
Nope, I gave them to the real estate committee before. I gave them to
But
people.
we've had no information, where's the real estate committee, where are they here today to present?
They abandoned ship, Michelle, and I gave it to those people a while ago.
We did not abandon ship.
Okay, well, you know, those easement documents were sent a long time
dismantled
ago.
us.
So, this is what's right here. I'd like to see a show of hands of here who want to consider this. All in favor? I want to see a show of hands of people who don't want to consider it.
That's a loaded question.
Yeah.
How about,
I'm
I'd like to see a show of hands that like to investigate the real value and put it on the market.
Exactly, and go with what Brian said.
Well, I'm just letting you know this could walk away.
So this is our deliberation period,
Yeah.
right?
This is the exact same argument Dana made in 2015. If you don't take this deal today, it's gone.
It's like a
It's
used
the
car
same
salesman.
thing.
Oh my God, it's a real estate.
So
Real
let's
estate.
show of hands, the people that want to put it back on, or put it on the
To
market.
investigate what Brian said. I like what Brian had to
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, how about, how many show of hands agree with Brian?
All right, so this is our deliberation
Right,
period
as a
on this
board.
agenda, right? And so Jeff has allowed that to bleed over into an open question and answer period. We did that in the last meeting. We need to stick to the agenda. That's the first point. We need to stick to the agenda so we can all get out of here and enjoy this beautiful day, right? Now, did you just mention that the offer expired?
Yeah,
Okay, so.
they gave me 24-hour extension because the meeting.
Did it expire or did it not?
Okay, so we're still
Patty,
deliberating
excuse
here,
me, they
right?
gave me a 24-hour extension because the meeting was today. Go
All right,
ahead.
so,
Yes.
again, this is us deliberating, right? Okay. You get to watch, but we're deliberating.
Right.
All right, the offer expired.
Well, I have an email to say they extended it for 24 hours.
The consensus of the people that are here today, the majority appeared to me by vote of hands to want to move forward in some manner, right? The other minority, from what I can tell from show of hands, wanted more consideration, more time to evaluate, maybe explore other options. We're already overdue with the agreement. Go back to the people that are offering the land and let them know what we learned here today. We need X amount of time to fully evaluate the offer. We're already beyond the offer. They gave you a 24-hour extension. They seem like reasonable people. If you describe it appropriately, I think they would give you some more time. And if not, the world is our oyster, right?
Yep. I mean, I can ask them if they want to extend this offer or not.
Well, how much time would it
Yeah,
take
I mean, how much time?
to get a reasonable offer?
Yeah.
On a
They're not
piece
going to be sitting around.
On real estate,
People don't do that.
you're gonna have to put it out on the market, you're gonna have to wait and wait and wait.
Well, it didn't take Dana Martin long.
They came to her.
Now, they came to Wes.
Well, they came to
Everybody
West.
remember that this started with
Basically,
Wes. They came to
So,
Wes because he was at the airport.
So
He was on
according-
the airport board.
So according to the guy that gave the pitch, they actually need that land for their school.
No,
No, they don't.
no, they do not.
No, they have other places they can go.
They already spent $1 million on 3 acres.
Yeah,
They can build hangars and walk away.
yeah. That's exactly what they're going to do. Marvin?
I don't think that they would build hangars. We asked them at the last meeting if they
Correct.
intended to have airplanes there. They said no.
That's correct.
Without airplanes, you don't need a hangar.
That's correct.
Sir. Just, that's what they said at the last meeting.
Yes, that's correct.
No airplanes, therefore no hangar.
Yeah. There's 2 service centers that they'd like to build on the backside of it. That's it. Michelle?
What are the restrictions on that property that you're trying to sell? Does it have to be for airport use?
No?
So it could be for any kind of investment?
You can put a concrete plan on it.
Who has the restrictions on that?
So you could not.
They're covered by the ranch's POA.
So you could not need access with an airplane to that. So the
You have a
assumption is-
30-foot easement in the back off of Soda Creek Road.
So the assumption is that that property still has no value because it has no access to it. easements
Correct.
to it. But you don't know that someone wouldn't want that for a concrete plant or an industrial use warehouse that doesn't want easement, airplane easement to it.
That's correct.
And they might be willing to pay full market value for that.
By the way, market value was assessed at 1.2 million.
I'd like to say
What did it,
That was the appraisal that came back. Now keep in mind also,
what appraisal?
the one that Jay Lefevre did. Keep in mind also, the property back here, over here, and access right here. This is 7 acres right here. There's Soda Creek Road. This is ours in blue. This, she's had it on the market for 2 years at $800,000.
it's not sitting in the airport.
She has airport access right there, Danny.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, she does. She has a lot.
Yeah, I've looked
It's a
into
lot.
that. That's and that's a buffer zone right there.
That is a lot right there, and she has it. She hasn't even sold that, and it's $800,000.
There is
That's what you're trying to
a
pitch.
water.
That's the
buffer
type
zone
of
there.
comps that you'll have on an appraisal. There is no comp capability on this out here that they can find comps. It's very difficult to appraise.
Solar property, wouldn't that be a comp?
Who?
Would
Yes.
Dana Martin's
Yes.
property be a
Yeah,
comp?
absolutely.
3 acres, $1 million.
Yeah, 3 acres, $1 million with airport taxiway access. Yes. Different type of comp.
All right, well, I agree with Brian.
So,
Jeff, do we know what they want to do with the land? If you've already told us, I'm sorry.
yes, no, and they presented it last week, so I might be ad-libbing. They want to they're putting a training facility in the front. I have a video of that he sent me on Thursday. I will upload it to the website. It's a very unique, God, it looks like a mountain home, type of facade out in the front. And in the back would be 4 service buildings for servicing airplanes, and that's it. That's it.
You do, that's what we said at the last meeting.
Yeah, that's actually the way we go through the property. You know, yeah, yeah. So, you know, is there landlocked issues? Yes. Is there easement issues? Yes. There is. I've checked it out. I've been sitting on my ass. I don't take the first one out here, you know. But as a member of the Water Corporation, because I'm in a dual road here, this, to me, is a pretty good deal. Anyway, you want to go into executive session?
If you like.
Could
Do we know
I
what next
just say
steps
one
are,
thing?
or-
Do you mind?
I'm sorry? Yes,
May I
ma'am.
say just one thing?
Sure.
One of your other two board members said it would be a good idea, perhaps you, sir, to ask for an extension. And then the other man said, well, how long? I don't know. I'm not in the real estate business, never have been. But if I were you guys, I'd be thinking about 60 days at minimum, maybe 90 days, to see what else might be out there. Maybe get an appraisal by somebody else that's kind of independent of this area.
All good points.
Another,
Just a thought.
by the way, if I go out and get an appraisal, it costs us money.
Not you, the
You already got an
board.
appraisal.
The board, it's,
Not
well,
you.
the board is the Windermere Water Supply
I've heard
Corporation.
I and the, plenty of, with you, you've got 3 board members now.
Yeah.
Let's, and thank you guys
Will
for speaking.
deliberate.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
Good point,
Yes.
thank you.
yes.
Yes.
I mean,
And
anything
the
we
word-
do on this,
You
we'll
use
we'll
the word
spend money.
consider.
Yeah.
I like the word consider. I don't like the word do at this moment. I don't think you do either. Good.
Also,
Question.
executive session,
Hang on.
you didn't,
I-
oh, I'm sorry.
I got a question back there.
Yeah. Assuming that appraisal is correct, I don't think you know if $1 million is a good deal, and you know all the costs associated with remediation and, you know, either getting the easement revoked or whatever you can do about that. How do you know it's a good deal if you don't know how much those things cost?
Well, first off, it's a take as land deal.
Yes.
He handles all the remediation. It's his responsibility. We owe no cost on that. He has already bought the front side, this parcel, so he has access.
But we still need to have an idea how much the remediation would cost, so that we know if we sold it for a higher price,
Oh, yeah,
how
I mean, we
much
can do
higher
that.
that price would
Yeah,
have
if
to
we
be
want to go out and get
in order
bids
to come,
on what it would take to get it up to speed, we can do that.
to walk away with the same amount of money as you would now.
Cost money.
I believe George, our former general manager, told us that all that remediation had been done. Do we know that the remediation has been done, or is there remediation that has to be done on it?
There's still remediation that has to be done. We have to scrape the top of it. All the plastic liners are sitting in there. If you ever walk the property, which I have numerous times, all the plastic liners from the old pit are still sitting there. Those all have to be disposed of. You probably have to, you know,
So
most
there
likely.
is no report that says we completed our remediation process from the TCEQ.
We didn't complete anything.
That's not true. In the rate appeal, we asked that question to George Burris, and he said, yes, it has, and provided through discovery a report from TCQ.
Okay.
He
Well,
provided that report, so go have your attorneys look in the rate appeal and see that.
they are previously looking through all this, and they gave me their comments on the contract, on the sale on Friday, and I just came in Friday. You gotta remember, I got this Sunday. Monday was a holiday. I had to get a meeting together. I need 72 hours, hence that's why I published the agenda, not Renee French. So, to talk about this, because you only have a certain number of days on a real estate contract. If anybody's in the real estate business. Okay.
Okay, one more question. Your executive session, you just say executive session. All of your agendas, up until this one, have always say executive session and state all the reasons why you may go into executive session, which is required by TOMA.
Unfortunately, I checked that out with the attorneys, and no, I don't need a reason.
Which
to go.
attorney? Tell me which attorney.
Erin.
Erin? I beg to differ. I work for Erin, and she wrote an article on this.
Well, I'm just letting you know what she told me.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Patty. I'm going to take it on the advice of our attorney of what I can do.
There's lawsuits over this. Go into executive session and talk about this. It's against the law. You have to tell people.
Actually, as a new reader of TOMA, there are 3 types of meetings in TOMA. There is an open meeting, open to the public. There is an executive meeting, which is only the membership And then there is a closed meeting, which is what we are about to do. We're going into a closed meeting.
It says executive session.
Closed meeting. It does say that, you're right. I'm just pointing out, it should say, oh, closed.
Just do things right, that's all we ask.
Plan. Why haven't you made sure that copies of Can you bring me one as well? They're willing to wait.
Jody and I spoke about it. We don't know.
Yeah, that's not exactly why the price of the land is
That was interesting, because you go through 2 yards, to get to that beautiful building where they, 1430, to go by the Faith Academy and find a lot.
you can't tell me he's trying to get that 2 car down. He just said we have 6 months of money.
So,
It's not going to sell. No, it's not selling the week. Most of the time right now, I think the last report I got was like at least 45 days. This is probably a tough.
We go in on Monday, depending on the market. But if you go in and you're not going to do it, you have to go in and mark it over so that you can
That's why I feel like there's something.
I've never been in.
I felt that's why I stepped up. And what all the things he said, I took my figured it out. I almost was going to I think
Get all the bolts put back on that airplane.
I think so. Glad we got that one fixed.
What's that? Oh, the rudder, yeah.
Bad problem.
That's ridiculous.
See the airplane set out. Back in 25.
Not only that, anybody else I was going in it was clean.
The whole park.
He did it 4 years ago.
Get back to control of that damn thing.
But I accidentally got
Got out of it. I call Senator said, hey, right back in the state department. I said, what's the problem? And I said, well, I would call it your turn. So, okay, well, Earl Miller. We're gonna try it. Before I got back to
So when he told me the other meeting that was
and he said, okay, back where you'll be following this command. I said, you're right, buddy. Yeah. Welcome back. He thought he could do it in a bigger area. Rest the board, hold the board that you should not sign TOMA. You should join TOMA in the lawsuit with Martin. Never got nothing. Just like this bullshit. You'll never get it. And this is the back door deal. Back door deal. Well, I'd like to see it going too, but I'd also like to see it losing. I'd also like to see it losing $1 million. I would not do property because big group of John's group. Like these two little hood dogs. Otherwise, all these boys that are owned. All these little hello boys that don't need recommended salaries for life that can't be controlled. How do you like it? You have an endowment that take away from you. An endowment could be on that trust fund baby. Trust fund baby. So now you get, now we got the just joined her. She was a felon. By the jury. The judge did not adjudicate. He did not give her a sentence. I was sitting in the courtroom when it happened. She did not pay. I know that damn board I was sitting, they didn't do much.
One of those
Jeff was there. It's right. Said, oh, if you're going home.
I stayed on there 2 years.
While you're loading.
Two of us on for a while. That didn't. That's only 2 of us, so it didn't make any difference for the one.
What's wrong, you know?
We started and we got to stop.
I just want to clarify that. Well, these You're too high. Well, I know, but I don't want to. They're building. That's So I was always the back. When I called him yesterday about
Another neighbor was
and I did. I left it and just put the guy at that. Let me go. Yeah, I know. That's why it's like
We bought, what happened is we bought that lot.
But anyway, I got to
The other town was sale once we got it.
Monday.
Let's get that one.
I probably should just went ahead and say.
a couple hours later,
So you're going to put it on one. You got the big party. So you're going to keep on the second. Yes.
It's really Oh, yeah. We kept going to Essex House. They would send 3 guys. Yes, one guy that first turned it off, turned it on, and the other 2, we got somebody didn't do a rush to grab them up. And they would go back and forth.
Okay. If I can have your attention, we'll get out of here. Check my agenda. We got it. Time out of the session. Yeah. Okay. Back in session. Here's what we talked about from the board standpoint. We're going to go back to the person who made this offer to us. They have a 60-day contingency in here. We are going to propose and make a motion that we try to get a 60-day contingent in this as well, on our side. I think that's what we talked about there. That was an idea. So we are going to go talk to this group and see if they'll add that language into this contract. If they have 60 days to cancel, we have 60 days as well.
Okay, so in that 60 days, it's been proposed by the folks in the membership that other offers be entertained. So go and do that for 60 days. And come back and let us know what you find out. Maybe we'll get something better. If not, if this goes through, we will have this offer. So we have one in the hand. We don't know if they'll reject it out of hand when we go to meet them.
Right.
But we are going to go and talk to them.
Right.
Let them know what you all have said. And frankly, from my heart, I'm thinking if I was in a position where I was given an ultimatum where it regards a piece of real estate, I'd be headed 180 degrees in the other direction. So we're going to try and get that much, try and negotiate with the buyer, and we'll see what happens.
Okay? Go ahead, Mark.
Yes, just the question was raised about whether there is or is not a taxiway wide enough to take aircraft. Wouldn't you want to make sure that there isn't or there is? Because that, I think, drastically affects the value of the property.
I will take action with the legal team to research that Monday, first thing.
Your board will take action?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
I also want to know that, or let you know that the Texas Public Law Water Code 49.226 says if you want to sell real property, you have to give notice of the intent to sell by publishing notice once a week for 2 consecutive weeks in 1 or more newspapers within general circulation. So we should probably start that right away. You don't have to go through with it, but you can give notice.
You have a motion?
Yeah, I have a motion to accept those, or I make a motion to accept that framing of this opportunity.
Which is,
We're going to go back to the buyer who presented this to us and ask for a 60-day contingency on the Water Supply Corporation side. And see if they're
Contingency
going to...
meaning the right to cancel, the right to walk away.
Exactly, the right to walk away. Our contingency, we can walk away from it. And we will go discuss that. At the same time, a group of members will take it upon themselves to find a better buyer, and they can bring in the same, they'll need to be able to be closed within 60 days of the.
you're doing deliberations now.
Yeah.
Let's get a second and vote on it, and then do deliberations.
Yeah, that's what.
Second?
Okay, so
We'll vote on it.
now we
Yes.
discuss it.
Yeah. Well,
All right, so I just want to make sure that we know who the members are that are on this board. I'd like them recorded in the minutes. They've agreed to go off and do this work on our behalf. So I don't want to come here in 60 days and have no work product, right? It's important because we have a really cool
Short time.
offer here that could get us out of a lot of trouble. But we also want to do it decently in order, so. Who are the people?
Any volunteers? Patty
And Michelle?
and Michelle? So that's the original real estate committee, right?
And Julie.
Okay.
Okay,
Julie's.
Julie? Okay.
all right, and the date is, today is the 1st.
Yeah. So,
Should we move
yeah,
to
it's
the,
7:31.
Okay, 7:31 it is. Any questions?
Did you say you were posting online the appraisal?
Yeah, I'll put it up there. What I got from the notes that Wes gave me on the Monday that he.
Well, I think that's probably not a good idea, being that any offers would look at that, and that website is wide open for anyone to see. So I don't recommend doing that.
Everybody has my email address. If you want to send me an email, I will forward that appraisal the notes that I got on it.
Okay, we need to do this business
I know, but I'm just answering for
here. Okay,
questions. Okay, so we have a motion to accept those three. I make a motion to accept Patty, Julie, and
Okay, so
Michelle.
we had one thing that was being discussed and deliberated.
Yeah.
So let's do that one, and then if you want to do the next motion.
Well, I think we discussed it. There was a real estate.
We did discuss it, but we didn't vote.
Okay, well, I'm making a motion to go, okay.
Okay, are we ready to vote?
I'm ready to vote on it.
I'm ready to vote.
Sorry.
all for those three?
Yes.
Aye.
Getting information,
Aye.
test them?
Yes.
Aye. Now we
Right.
have a board to seat. We
Oh,
just
yeah,
voted
yeah,
on
yeah.
what we're gonna do with the buyers.
Right.
Then we had another discussion about the board. I mean, the committee.
The committee, yes.
Just so you know, you're okay with that committee? If it
Okay.
wasn't on the agenda, because at the February meeting, it was on the agenda, and it was the same exact people.
Yeah.
Yeah, what has happened since then?
I mean, that could be discussed in a new business, by the way. We can add anything in new business of what we want to discuss at the next board meeting. And the next board meeting, I have to get the dates, but I think it's scheduled for sometime in the second week of June. I didn't bring my laptop, and I thought Renee was going to be here. So,
we can't vote on it.
If that was the committee and it was never officially dissolved.
yeah,
then
that committee,
yes, exactly.
yeah, that committee is still in action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to vote on that?
Can't.
So do we create a
Not on the
committee, or do
agenda.
we need to create a committee?
No, I
Is there a
don't think we need to create a committee.
It exists.
It already
It
exists.
It already exists.
Good. Don't need
What is
to.
that? Okay, okay.
We appreciate that.
Anything else? We are going to try to get a hold of one question, Carol. We're going to try to get a hold of the people who made this offer to us today and start our work to see if we can get them to grant us 60 days on this.
It may not.
Yeah, they may not. We don't know. Carol?
Okay, so once again, I expressed it last meeting. Here we are, a group of maybe 30 people, and we have so many more members out there. I would appreciate either a letter to the members regarding what the process is that we are now going through over the next 2 months to look at this land, as well as, whatever facts you want to put in there, and do it well before this month that you've taken to publish these meeting minutes. Because this tiny little cadre, granted, you can tell us to go tell everybody, but you know what? Some of us don't.
Okay.
And it needs to come from the board officially what's going on and what the process is.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. I'll get it out as soon as we can.
Yeah, coming soon.
Any other questions? Go ahead.
When you put a meeting notice on the website, can you put the time that shows up?
It's on there,
Without,
on the county website, they put it up there. The time of posting.
Date and time stamp. On this particular one, don't think.
it shows the date,
Yeah, it didn't show
without
the
having to go into
Right.
the,
Got it.
In the title.
Yep.
yeah, in print that, put it on the title, the time.
Okay. All right. Make a motion to adjourn. No, we got any new business? Any new business you guys want to bring up, discuss now, and then we can take action on the next meeting? Yes.
I just wanted to, I probably missed it, but is the property going to be listed for sale with an agent, or is this just,
Talk to the.
Talk to the real estate committee.
okay, real estate committee has the answers.
We need buyers.
Yeah. Okay. No new business? Anybody want to put on the next agenda item? That's what the new business category is about.
Updates on what's going on with the compliance filing. Like, aren't we supposed to change our bylaws?
We got an extension on most of that, but we'll provide you an update of where all that sits.
Just a question.
Sure.
If we're running $40,000 in the red every month,
Yep.
we need to adjust our rates. When
Yep.
can we do that?
We just did.
5 years.
Now, okay.
We won't be here in 5 years.
I did talk to the PUC about that. And that was after the big discussion about receivership and so on. We could petition the PUC to reduce the refunds.
After a year.
No,
Right away?
we can ask for emergency on the refunds to extend it. It's right now in a 45-month window. We could extend it to 60 to 80 months on the refunds. They would consider that, but we'd have to go talk to the PUC and ask for a petition, ask for relief on that. That was part of my discussion with them about what happens if we go into receivership. So,
And that would
we could
probably
do
take
that.
some time.
You have to
How
go
long
into
does it take?
receivership first?
to get an
No,
answer from the
I do
PUC?
not. We do not have to go into receivership first in order to do that reduction. But again, it doesn't give me the 40K that we're on our spend rate.
So,
Gives us half. 21, 20.
is this new business?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
This is something.
Yeah, there's a question. Go ahead. Yes.
I believe in our documents that if at the end of the year, we are in the red, that an assessment can be placed to make up the difference.
We can start asking the PUC for a new rate or assessment 6 months prior to February, whenever they implement the new rate size. It's kind of rule. So we can apply for it, and then it will kick in. We're kind of under a 12-month lockdown. But they would grant us relief because of financial hardship. We're in. Can't stress it enough. Yeah. Okay. I make a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Thank you. Thank you very much for your comments, your time. Anybody want any of these handouts?
Could be.
I didn't feel a treat for nothing. Well, let's see how this works. Still going.
Well, thank you. Requirements, then you gotta do this. You gotta say, okay, so we're on later. Later by work, it's gotta be first in the morning.
Yeah, well, good to know. I try not to do everything, by myself. Okay. You can call me. I can do it. That's a good rule. There you go. No, good to know. We're all learning.
Yes. On yours or theirs? She's gonna have a party for us. Let us try out some of That is kind of fun to go buy something that smells really good. During the time, but when you grind some of it, you taste it like whatever it's supposed to be. Yes.
We have a different opinion then.
I like fine, that's a good part.
My father was from the and also, but it's not really not worried about the
A guy found it in the grass beside the road, and he picked it up, and somebody happened to call the doctor's office. He said that he said he was calling. They said, Diane Harvey, I know her. Took it to his neighbor and charged him. And then he gave it to some other guys over there. They put a note on my door. We go to this business. I was shocked. I thought he bought it. Yeah, but now I'm going to cancel the one that's insurance company. My money back that I had to pay the insurance company deductible. The hard part is sitting on the phone. It's a road 30, 40 minutes every time you call. You know, such is life. I'm glad I got it back.
Oh, you did tell me? Well, I know.
See, that just told us
In fact, I told him more than
when are you guys going to start building again that you'll be out there?